Hello everyone, welcome to the May 27th, 2018 edition of the Astrology News Report. I'm your intrepid host, Ron Berger. In this segment, we take a look at the upcoming planetary patterns and predictions. What's on the celestial agenda for May 27th to June 3rd and beyond? Actually, this report is going to be a preview of the entire month of June. But before beginning, a little reminder to viewers to please help out covering the costs of keeping this weekly report going. Some of you have donated, but sadly, many more have not. Just click on the link at the end of the video to show your support. Thank you. The month begins with some holdovers from late May. Venus is still in sidereal Gemini, not a bad thing really, and now far enough advanced to not be so directly influenced by Saturn as it was during late May. Still, there will be some residual effects from the reality check planet influencing the planet of romance, harmony, and agreement during the first week of June, since they are technically still in mutual aspect. So, finding agreement and pursuing romantic adventure may still be touch and go for the first week of June. Then, on June 8th, Venus changes signs, entering Cancer, where it will be for the rest of the month. This puts the planet of love and harmony in the sign of emotional support, which is not a bad thing, except that now Venus will be opposite to Mars, the planet of force, aggression, and combat. Mars is a bad influence on Venus and brings out the negative qualities of Venus: selfishness, vanity, jealousy, indulgence. Mars will also be having a detrimental effect on other Venus significations, such as compromise, agreement, finance, young females, and so forth. Another thing that happens while Venus is in Cancer is Venus's conjunction with Rahu, the north node of the moon, one of the eclipse points. Rahu is a demon in Vedic mythology, and therefore representing something unusual, and demons are obsessed with their desires. Rahu, as an eclipse point, distorts and obscures what it affects. Again, this is generally a detrimental influence on Venus significations, indicating weird relationships, too much emphasis on sex, strange obsessions, and so forth. The exact conjunction of Venus and Rahu will be right around the same time that Venus is directly opposite Mars during the third week of June. So, during those days, Venus significations will be badly afflicted. Mercury will be in 3 different signs during June. Mercury starts out the month in Venus's sign Taurus, from which it participates in a Parivartana yoga with Venus, which at the beginning of the month is in Mercury's sign Gemini. This exchange of sign rulerships helps the significations of both planets, since they are considered friends in Vedic astrology. Since Taurus likes tangible results, the interaction of Venus and Mercury can promote productive negotiations. Then, on June 9th, Mercury changes signs, leaving Taurus and entering Gemini. This puts Mercury in one of its own signs, which helps Mercury's significations of communication, data and information, and finding consensus. But there's a problem. Mercury now becomes influenced by the opposition of Saturn, the planet of harsh reality, delay, and limitation, which is happening over there on the other side of the Zodiac in Sagittarius. Mercury, as the planet of communication, represents news reports. Saturn is restriction. So there's going to be some sort of problem with the media. Getting correct and timely information about what is actually going on will be difficult. The exact opposition is in the middle of June. And then, in the final week of the month, Mercury changes signs again, entering sidereal Cancer on June 25th. By being in Cancer, Mercury will suffer from the same fate as Venus, in other words, the aspect of Mars, as well as the conjunction with Rahu. Mars has a particularly negative effect on Mercury. It's the planet of force, afflicting the planet of communications, which leads to distortion of facts, in other words, fake news. The exact opposition of Mercury and Mars doesn't happen until early July. As for Mars itself, the planet of action, the do-it planet, entered Capricorn back at the beginning of May. During June, Mars is slowing down to a crawl before it goes retrograde, which will be on June 26th. Mars retrograde periods are something to be wary of because it's the planet of moving things forward, moving backwards in the zodiac, an energy pattern that tends to interfere with making any kind of progress. It's also the planet of aggression and destruction, being restrained, which pressurizes the energy, setting up conditions for an explosive event. Further complicating the Mars retrograde issue is Ketu, the south node of the moon, one of the eclipse points, which will be tightly combined with Mars all through June and July, even into August. As June progresses, Mars catches up to Ketu, with the exact conjunction being on June 7th at 13 degrees Capricorn. Mars creeps a couple of degrees past Ketu, then goes retrograde on the 26th, and starts to head back towards Ketu for a second conjunction in July. In Vedic astrology, Ketu is the significator of past karma. Retrograde Mars is the planet of actions, going back over a recently traversed area of the zodiac, in other words, revisiting the past. Combining that with the significator of past karma indicates dealing with consequences resulting from the actions of the past. Another interpretation of that, since Ketu represents the non-material, in other words, the unseen dimension, Mars retrograde conjunct Ketu can give rise to obstructed or delayed actions which will have unseen consequences. So, there are some problematic combinations in the zodiac coming up, indicating June will be a bit rough. This is just a preview. I will, of course, be adding in more details in upcoming reports. And now, before leaving you, my little pitch for donations. If you appreciate what this YouTube channel does for you, please help support it and me by visiting the donation page and making a contribution. Just click on or touch the donation card you see here. Thanks, and until next week.